On the 25th of January 1533, Anne Boleyn finally marries Henry VIII in a secret ceremony. It is thought that she was probably already pregnant with Elizabeth at this time. And sure enough, on the 7th of September of that same year, little Elizabeth was born. As we all know, this was considered a great disappointment for Henry and Anne. Henry had divorced his wife, Catherine of Aragon, after 24 years of marriage because she hadn't produced a male heir. So convinced were Anne and Henry that their first baby would be a boy, that the birth announcement had to be hastily altered. So on this birth announcement, in which it was sort of declaring to the world that a boy had been born, they had to change prince to princess by adding an S. Anyway, this was not necessarily the end for Anne, because she had proved that she could get pregnant very quickly, and so it's thought that she could easily get pregnant again. In 1534, the next year, it was thought that she was pregnant again. In April of 1534, a contemporary wrote, "The Queen hath a good belly, praying our Lord to send us a prince." And there is also evidence that Henry ordered a silver cradle from Cornelius Hayes, his goldsmith, and it was decorated with precious stones and Tudor roses. This certainly indicates that the royal couple believed them to be pregnant. But what happened to this baby? The sad truth is that we simply don't know. There are no reports of a stillbirth or a miscarriage, so perhaps it was a false pregnancy. Historians have debated about what happened, whether she was pregnant, whether she did miscarry, but we just don't know. By 1535, Anne was pregnant again, but unfortunately on the 29th of January of 1536, she miscarried at 3.5 months. The baby was a boy. Many think that this was the beginning of the end for Anne, but this isn't necessarily true. She had already proved that she could get pregnant fairly easily, and she was still young, so there was every chance that she could have got pregnant again and given birth to a male heir. But this was never to be, and only 4 months later, she was executed on Tower Green for her alleged adultery and treason against the king.